Hey, good morning. Good morning, our people. Sorry that we are late. We are once again having connectivity issues. So, Sister Peace in the background trying to get our guests to come on. Hopefully, we can make that seamless. So far, it's been a struggle. All right. So, welcome to the program. We are super happy to have you here today. We are on part two of our topic from last week, which is unlocking the divine blueprint for self determination. Unlocking the divine blueprint for self determination, part two. And we have one of our brothers who is a priest here today with us. So I would definitely would love to give him the honor to introduce himself more. Continue to help us to share as usual. Um,
Sorry, people, we are trying to get our guest in. My name is April Simon Okuba. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Continue to help us to share. Those that are seeing us for the first time, we appreciate you being here. I will play a video so that we share. It's just being in the background while we uh, share, like, subscribe. Please, we can see a lot of you viewing YouTube. We see you. You're viewing. Please subscribe. Not just view, subscribe,
share, share,
and
share, share.
and then like, because when you do that, like we keep explaining, it will help the algorithm and the message will go around. So just don't watch and not like or subscribe. You can do both of them. It's just a click. So if you're here, you can see us. Please just click like before you continue. Like the video, you will like it. So it's you.
You definitely like it. If not for anything, your sisters are on the screen. So at least like your sisters, if not for anything else. All right. So we'll play the video of the day. Please continue to help us to share while we get our guests to come on. Let me pull up the video of the day.
In the criminality of going to run Nigeria with that constitution. It is a criminality in which they are all co-participants, equal members of the gang operating Nigeria under that constitution. And so let nobody imagine that because Tinubu's own is boss now, he has become anybody who subscribes to that constitution is no different from that Tinubu in all respects. Since that constitution is guilty of forgery, that constitution is guilty of fraud, that constitution is guilty of identity theft, you subscribe to it and you want to make it, you want to present yourself as the virgin in the brother that has produced all of you, PDP, APC, Labour Party, you all subscribe to the 1999 constitution. Don't come pontificating any differently. And so what can the rest of us do? Because no matter what the courts do, it is the responsibility to repudiate that reputation in a manner that the international community can see, falls back on all of us. And NINAS has a proposition for how we can repudiate those tags effectively. That proposition is this. This constitution that mandated this election, that has produced this kind of outcome that's now brought us embarrassment in the international. Why can't we, even for the sake of the young people who are going to suffer from that, that damage, that irreparable damage that Tinubu's forgery has brought on all of us in the international circuit? Listen to what has happened in the UK, where nurses that are already employed are being asked to go and are now required to go to write the exams afresh because of one man that wants to be president. Several universities have suspended processing of admission for Nigerian students across the UK, US. And the US authorities say they will now have to vet people coming from Nigeria, particularly students, for involvement in drug Even the ones who trained, whether you trained in Nigeria or you trained in Harvard or Oxford, if somebody could in Chicago do what was done, as we have seen, who says that those who went to Harvard or Lincoln, wherever, did not, tamper with a few things in the background? And so what we can do is to repudiate Nigerians, those who wish to be separated from that identity that have been inflicted upon us by Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria for today. Those who wish to join the task, Ninas invites you to join us to repudiate in real terms that constitution, because all we need to do now is to say we can no longer build on this foundation of falsehood, on this foundation of forgery, on this foundation of fraud, on this foundation of identity theft. As a people, we then insist that we do like South Africa did in 1990 with apartheid constitution. That announcement to begin the constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria must now come, in addition to all the other pressing reasons. This is now an added, emergency, that we must do this so that the international community can see that there's an action we have taken. Because once we do that, first it takes care of the unfinished business of February 25th. The outcome of this election that we shouldn't have embarked upon, this 2023 election that we shouldn't have embarked upon on the basis of that fraud of a constitution. The multitude in their, whatever was their reason, but largely driven by ignorance and emotion, dragged us to election, including the ones who are now shouting about mandate. Both Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, all of them who dragged us to this election, are equally guilty. And so the rest of us can say, on account of the status, on account of the content, on account of the character of Nigeria defined by that constitution, we now reject that character. We reject the fraud, we reject the forgery, we reject the identity theft inflicted on us by that constitution. If we do that today, the 5-point proposition of Ninas in the December 16, 2020 constitutional force majeure, those 5-point propositions represent what we can do today to let the international community see that we reject that foundational instrument that has produced this fruit.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. This video is on Nina's Voice YouTube channel. It's on ninasvoice.org website. It's on Daughters of Truth Facebook. So help us to share this video far and wide. So I think our brother is here. Sitepi, he can hear you, right? Is it good? You're muted.
Can you see if he's in the studio?
Yeah.
Again?
Oh, yeah, I was asking if he can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Father Ugu, you can hear us, right?
Let's see if he is. I don't know if the network is still bringing it up.
For some reason his video is black.
It's black.
We may just have to do audio just to get with
Yeah, let me try one more time and see what is going on. Because if you can get, please, people hold on, please, a little bit. It's network. That's what we're telling us that we need to. So we're seeing your.
Yeah, it looks like he appears like he's frozen. You may have to just use audio and keep it moving. Thank you. Please continue to help us to share. Welcome to the program.
We'll do audio. Is in the background.
Okay. Um,
My take him out of the studio so they will
okay,
not give double. Um,
voice.
yes.
So he can hear you now, right? Can you hear? Father, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh, awesome.
But it's like he's doing double because he's still in the studio. Is he still in the studio?
Yeah, he needs to leave the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell him to get out of the studio. So I can,
Okay.
I'll remove him. Okay. I think
Is
he
it
maybe,
out now?
yeah, I kicked him. Well, that's the word they use. Kick him out. I kicked him out. So hopefully,
Okay. Father, sorry. Can you hear us now?
Doing well.
I did what?
I'm saying that it is no longer coming.
Let's go. Someone, please take it from here. Thank you. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. That's why we want to leave that zoo because the network is horrible. People are living life as if they are living in the backstage of the world.
hmm.
They are simple apps, simple things. Once you are in that land, once you are in Anibo, it's worse in Anibo. It's bad in Nigeria, but it's worse in Anibo. Internet, network, everything, even when we make ordinary call, is difficult. It's as if they're inside hole.
And they will charge you more. It's more
They will
expensive per
charge you
minute.
more. So the sabotage is real, and it's not just that they did not allow you to be president. That's not it. That they're holding your life so that you cannot take charge of your destiny, except you run out of the land. And we are saying is intentional. That doing is intentional to make sure we leave the land because the land is full of resources. Nigeria is number 6 oil producing country in the
Nation.
world, and that oil is coming from our land. They are using our land to fund the mediocrity called Nigeria, the fraud called Nigeria. Yet we don't have life. Yet they will not allow us to take our destiny in our hands and decide how we want to fly. We are not asking to be your president. No, I don't want to be a president in the prison. Like
The
Joseph.
president of open air prison.
Yeah. Some people say zoo. I say zoo is organized. If zoo was not organized, a lion would be eating small animals. So it's not zoo, it's evil forest, it's jungle. That's where you're living in. Where the big animals eat the small animals. Grab it, snatch it, run with it. And people think we can manage with it. People think we should keep going with it. You don't know what is coming for you. You don't.
It's insane.
This is not about you. It's about lives of millions of people scattered all over the world, forced to migrate. And are celebrating. I'm in Canada. I'm in US. Is that your father's land? Samina, please go ahead. I don't want to start venting this morning.
All right. Thank you so much, my sister. Sorry, y'all, for the late start. So, as our topic rightfully say, unlocking the divine blueprint for self-determination part 2. If you guys recall, we had Father Abo last week that did a stellar work in telling our people what the people need to know about, freedom in Christendom, because God has promised us freedom and abundant freedom for that matter, not the one that will restrict it on one side. It's like the women that wear clothes that doesn't fit them. You zip way up, you freeze it up in the air. You can't breathe anymore, but you're trying to look cute. And that's not what he's trying to give us. He's trying to give us the outfit that when we get in it, we'll be comfortable in it. So after 1313 AD, when Christianity became legalized within the Roman Empire by Constantine, the teachings of church concerning charity and justice began to influence Roman laws and policies. Despite the fact that certain Catholic saints, clergy, religious orders, and popes appeared to have owned slaves, however, Catholic teachings began to turn more strongly against certain forms of slavery. By the 1800s, the church relatively reached consensus in condemning chattel slavery and joined in pushing for its abolition. Evil, they say, never sleeps. So, as chattel slavery became unfashionable, a modern and worse form of slavery took over. That is the enslavement of the entire indigenous nations of Africa. We are talking about colonialism and neo-colonialism. So currently Nigeria under the imposed 1999 unitary constitution is a case of internal colonialism that requires urgent redemptive action by the indigenous peoples trapped in that union of death that this so-called Nigeria has become. So today, our guest, Father Sylvester Uche Ugu from Tansi Seminary Onitsha, is here to give us some biblical perspective on blueprint for self-determination. He studied in Germany. His area of specialization is moral theology, particularly social ethics and bioethics. Apart from other special topics, part of his research work revolved again around human dignity and human freedom. So you can see he is just the right person to take us up today to the what we need to know about self-determination. So welcome, Father
Ugu,
Sylvester.
Father Ugu,
Father
Sylvester
Sylvester.
Ugu. Yes.
Yes, Father, forgive me. I have the anointing for destroying people's name. The only name I know how to say is my
The
name.
good one.
Yes, the only thing I know how to say is Mona Jim Saga. So welcome to the program. Please go ahead and do a formal introduction of yourself, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, dear sisters. Good evening, everyone. My name is Father Sylvester Uche Ugu. I am a priest of the Catholic Diocese of Nsukka in eastern Nigeria. So, and as already presented, I did my eastern Nigeria in Germany, in Freiburg University, Albert Ludwig University. That is how they say it in Germany, in Freiburg. So, and I came back in 2018 after the long stay, and I started from then hearing what was being said about Ninas, and I was very much interested because before then I didn't know about that, and it just caught me, and I immediately made inquiries and entered into the group. So when they started talking about the elections, I'm sorry I wasn't interested because I knew already that the whole issue wasn't, the whole system was flawed. So thank you, and we can move on from there.
Thank you so much, Father Ugu. Sorry, we're trying to get the PowerPoint on because people need to see the questions we're asking so that they will just follow. So I want to look at how the church leaders have fared in Nigeria, all these things that we're saying, all these things going on. Father, what do you think? Do you think the church leaders in Nigeria have been playing their role in Christendom?
Yes, I can say that when we turn our focus to the church in Nigeria, it is important to acknowledge that the Catholic Church, at least, of course, with some others, they have played significant roles in various aspects of society, such as healthcare, education, spirituality, and more, contributing to the betterment of the country and the individuals living therein. However, in the face of the current socio-political challenges, one might, of course, argue seriously that our church leaders have a crucial role to play, especially considering Nigeria's existing constitutional order, which is viewed to be flawed, inauthentic, and even is a questionable use in the country. So that is the situation. That is the truth.
Okay.
So I'll just leave it there.
Okay. Okay. We're just starting. We just have to take off. You tell us more. So, from their involvement, because you say we're just starting, we're warming up, we want to narrow in, and then you will tell us how they've been doing it. So don't worry, we're not in a hurry. Viewers, please continue to help us to like and share, subscribe. We are still unloading, we're unpacking, we're like mama that went to market. You come, you start bringing out okwa inside the basket. So we are unloading, we are unpacking. Father, please, from the involvement of the church in the last presidential election, it appears the church is against self-determination. Because why Ninas was saying, please, what we need to do now is to reconstruct the constitutional order of Nigeria to liberate the people. The church said, PVC, get your PVC. Nina said, they are coming with AK-47, no, they will kill everyone. He said, PVC, PVC. Nina said, these criminals, these political people, whether Labour, whether APC, PDP, whatever name they call themselves, they are all rogues, criminals, upholding the 1999 Constitution. And there's nothing you will do to free the people. Church said, PVC, PVC. If you talk this side, you go this side. As you're talking, they will go and bring these criminals into church. Pour anointing oil on their head. Pour granite oil, all the oil they have on their head. Say, this is the man. And they will tell you, oh, no, we don't do politics. But we are bringing the criminal politicians inside church to advertise to the people. Yet we are not doing politics. So when we viewed all this, it's as if the church as an institution, we're not singling one church out. The entire institution in Nigeria called the church is against self-determination. Vis-a-vis the role of Bishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa. Father, please, what do you think should be the role of the Church of Nigeria in a time like this?
Yes, the truth is that the church, as the church, I'm talking globally now, and how we see it, and what is written, it is in essence not against self-determination. They understand its connection to God's creation of man in his image and likeness. One can, however, examine the role of the individual church leaders, especially here in Nigeria, and what they did, as you said, in that election. The failure in the last presidential election can be partly attributed to the perhaps ignorance of some people regarding the Nigerian 1999 Constitution and its constraints on Nigerians. Others who heard the message of Ninas may have believed the Constitution would not pose a problem, and being misled by our politicians, they decided to discard the message of Ninas. So it has become clear to everyone that the Nigerian 1999 Constitution is fraudulent and not designed for the well-being of the people. Everyone, especially Nigerian church leaders, should now urgently rise up and inform their congregations to work together to overthrow this fraud and establish a constitution that is indigenous and beneficial for everyone's welfare. Other African countries, even as you have said, South Africa as an example, and I also heard that Ghana, they did it, but not exactly the way South Africa did their own. So they all took similar steps for the benefit of their people. And we have no alternative now. We have to consider doing the same line of action. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend. We wish please, can you take out the comments, because we didn't see the last question, so that they just scroll back and take this, because it was not showing the blank parts of the question.
Oh,
It was blocked. Yeah, so but go back, show a little bit the question 2 a bit, so they will just see it, and then we'll go back. We'll go to question 3. Thank you so much, Reverend. Mr. Mona, thank you so much. She's trying to do a lot of technical work. It's not easy. So just like up and down, so I can go to the next because they will cut off that question. Yes, thank you. And then we'll now go to the next question. Interference in Africa, Nigeria, because that's where we are now, started with slave trade. Slave trade gave way for colonialism and the neo-colonial projects by Western powers. I mean, we see these things; they're not hidden anymore. Everyone can see the sabotage, the policies, the everything they're doing. You can see the game. It's only even someone that is blind can see it. Father, how do human dignity and human freedom relate to the broader discussions on self-determination and liberation? Please take it from here.
Yeah, the concept of human beings being created in God's image and likeness signifies that every human being, every human person possesses that personal freedom to act responsibly in his, in the ways, in whatever manners he wants to live his life. Now, this principle is even enshrined both in the Bible. One can take, for example, Genesis chapter 1, verses 26, 27, and also the Catechism of the Catholic Church. Now, the church's document, there's a document they produced during their Second Vatican Council. It is called the Gaudium et Spes. Here in number 12, it further affirms that every person possesses inherent freedom, personal will, and inherent dignity, carrying with it personal responsibility for whatever action one takes. This personal freedom and will enable each individual to exercise self-determination in shaping their own life's direction. The church has taken the emancipation of peoples seriously, particularly since the Second Vatican Council. This commitment to liberation was exemplified in the efforts of groups like there's a religious congregation we call Dominicans, the Dominican friars. In the 16th century, they worked tirelessly towards the emancipation of indigenous Indian Americans. And not only them, so many others up until today, as we can see. So nobody, or rather, notably the Nigerian Constitution of 1999 in Article 10, it does not establish a state religion. This is just an example. Nevertheless, since the year 2000, 12 states in the core north of Nigeria, they unanimously adopted Sharia as their state religion, distinct from what is there in the so-called 99 Constitution. This can be viewed, perhaps, as an exercise of their right to self-determination. Similarly, the other regions in the south and middle belt should of course, be given autonomy to determine how they wish to coexist within the framework crafted by the people themselves to foster genuine and peaceful coexistence in the country. And then we move from there because maybe I have a number of questions here, or rather issues to contribute. We can stop for now and then move on.
Thank you so much. Yes, you mentioned that the 12 northern states have embraced Sharia, and by that act, they have gone through their own self-determination. Because if they decide that the Sharia is what they want to live by, so be it. It's their right. But that means that they have seceded from the secular Nigeria we said we were building. And people will keep deceiving themselves, thinking that, okay, Nigeria is a secular state. No, Nigeria is a Muslim state. It's now a member of OIC. And as a member of OIC, you will do what they say you should do. So it's good that you mentioned that act. For those that are trying to charge others and say, oh, they are trying to come out from Nigeria, they hate Nigeria. The people that actually hate your Nigeria are those people that introduce Sharia in the secular state we say we're building, the so-called democracy we say we're building. So thank you so much, Father, for mentioning that. We'll go to the next question, please. The 1999 Constitution is worse than the apartheid Constitution of South Africa. At least, apartheid Constitution, while holding the blacks down, they were still developing the geographical space and not committing all sorts of crimes everywhere. So the 1999 Constitution is worse than apartheid Constitution of South Africa. What should obedience and the peoples of Nigeria do to get rid of it so they can take back their sovereignty? Father Ugu, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, the issues associated with the current constitution affect the entire country, transcending any specific groups or regional blocks. It is the collective responsibility of both leaders and citizens to unite in demanding the immediate removal of this flawed and unjust document. So, in this sense, one cannot just be talking about maybe obedience and all that. It is for everybody, and particularly the leaders have responsibility here. So it's very crucial, given that the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, has already discredited the constitution as fraudulent. So it was not created by the people of Nigeria, nor was it signed by their representatives. Rather, it was imposed by the military. So this imposition is far from a democratic process. It is reminiscent of a military dictatorship, as it was forced upon the indigenous peoples without their being asked, without the agreement, with nothing. So it is for all of us and the religious leaders in this sense. They have a very, very huge role to play. And only then can we now understand that, yes, they still have their flock at heart. The well-being of their flock, their people at heart. That's it. Leave it there.
Thank you so much. Zamon, I don't know if you have questions for him.
Right. So earlier on, when we asked the question number 3, he mentioned all the things that the Catholic Church has been doing in terms of self-determination. But we also noticed that the Pope, the current Pope, have never said anything, especially when things are happening in Africa. He has never come up to show that he cares about his flock, at least not from what I have seen. We have our brothers and sisters that reside right there at Rome or in Rome, and they know what is going on at home, and yet none of that have come to limelight in the area that it should, just like any other place. So can you please shed some light on that? Because for me, it's almost like we are not part of the so-called Catholic community.
Yeah.
We are here worshiping the way they want us to worship, doing everything they want us to do. People are even dying about sewing clothes so they can have a white Mary mother on it, so that they will still be part of that group. And yet, when there's a situation that concerns us, we don't hear them speak, not from the Pope and not from our so-called brothers and sisters that work with them. So please see if you can give us more information on that.
In that regard, the Pope, because he lives far away, he has his ears very close to us. I don't know whether you are aware that in Nigeria, the Catholic Church always has a representative in all the countries where Catholicism exists. We have the representatives here in Nigeria. They have one in Abuja. I've forgotten. I don't remember the name. It doesn't come to my mind now. The name of the one there, but they have, and we have our own brothers. Even one of them, Archbishop Okolo, he was here in this seminary. If not up to 2 weeks now, he was here. So these are the representatives, but not only them. Even the bishops, they also have that responsibility to send messages across beyond Abidjan up to Rome and tell them this is the situation in the country today. Perhaps, please, Holy Father, you can say something about that. I am sure also that the Pope has said a number of things regarding Nigerian situation from time to time. No, although it has not been so loud enough as the common man in Nigeria would feel it or understand whatever he was saying. So they used to say something, but only when our people who work there as the church's representatives say something. So the truth is that they do say it, but whether our people who represent us or represent the church there bring such matters across to him, that one can be a question for perhaps the next, or we can research further about that. I only know that, of course, as I said.
Yes, in American system.
A number of things. Yeah, I was able to say a few things, but we aren't told that we are expecting more. But the responsibility lies more on those who are here, the bishops, even the priests themselves, and the collective Catholic community. If there's a proverb we have in Igbo land. If you don't say where you are, nobody will say that you are there. So it is our own responsibility to cater for the well-being of our own flock, our own people here in our own region.
In other words, Father, what we are hearing, from my own view, because we have heard where priests were kidnapped, some killed, some all that, and it means that the church has failed. That's what we'll say. Basically, the church has failed in their role.
I remember that in the case of a particular priest who was recently killed, I think it was within the context of election, and I think in Niger State, the Pope mentioned, he said something in regard to that. He said it.
We understand. We're just saying that the church has not done enough.
Because our own people have to rise up. If our bishops, our priests, everybody, it's not an individual, and we cannot really live it. Even if we live it, because the church, as it is, the church is just more of a moral authority. There was a time there came up a battle between the church in the earlier days when Constantine gave much powers to the church. Within so many years, now the church almost saw herself as the most important, and then there was trouble between between empire and the church. So this issue of a throne and altar. It was only later that it became clear to the church that her role is clearly away from that of political authority. So political authority belongs to the normal government, civil government, but the spiritual aspect belongs to the church, and because of that, it became clear to the popes and the church authorities that we do not have that military might and to enforce whatever we want to propose. That was exactly the reason why it was left for the civil government to be doing whatever. The only thing is that whenever any evil is seen, any evil relating to working against human rights, working against the dignity of the human person, working against because we are all created. Everybody, whether you are white or black or colored, whatever, we all have the same dignity given by God, and because of that,
Please, can we get his
all
picture
have
on
the same responsibility.
so that people will see the person talking? Go ahead, please, Father.
So, what it means is that wherever people are suffering, wherever the rights of the peoples, the dignity of peoples are endangered, then the church, wherever it is, whether in Rome or in Africa or especially in Nigeria or wherever, the church must rise up and shout out against that injustice.
Okay.
So that's actually.
So basically, what you're saying is that the church has not shouted enough, because for us, we don't see.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, we have not seen. Yes, we have not seen. Because the different, like, if people are in bondage politically, I don't see how spiritual freedom will come, because for us they work hand in hand. Because even Jesus said, he said, if you're taking the gospel to somebody and the person has not eaten, he said, keep your gospel first, go and bring food and give to the person. So our people have been in abject poverty, and colonialism from Rome has been killing us, this from Europe, destroying our people, destroying everything. So if the church is still keeping quiet, and after over 100 years, they've not said their voice, they've not got their voice, it means that we need to amplify their voice. We need to go and do something to their voices so that their voice can come up. Samuna, please go ahead.
Right, thank you. So, Father, where I am right now in America, we tend to host anyone that is in charge of anything. Um, we need to hold them responsible. We don't, say, oh, because he's the Pope, he doesn't know what's going on. You need to know what's going on. If you're not able to know what's going on, that means you're not capable of doing the job. That means you need to leave the job and make space for someone who can do the job. So this African thinking of abstaining everybody, oh, leave him, he doesn't know. He doesn't know. You should know. That's why you ask for situation reports of everything, because at the end of the day, you are the representative of that whole church organization. You are in charge of it. You are held liable. So I'm holding him liable that he should know what he should know. People are suffering. People are looking up to him. Do you know how many people that think they have seen God whenever they see him, and yet they can get no help from him because you want to say he doesn't know? That's not good enough for me. But we'll move on to the next question, which is our question number 5. So let me pull that up. I'm here trying to take your picture down and bring down the questions.
Yes, yeah, it's just for our people to see who is talking, because we're not able to get his video working because of the dungeon where our people found themselves. So that's why, so that people will not say. Some people know him and they want to know, oh, is that him talking? They hear the audio quite all right, but when they see the picture, they will know. So thank you, Simon. I know it's not easy going back and forth, getting all these things out. So, Father, thank you for being patient with us. We're also trying to put things together technically so everything will work well. We're also thinking, and then our viewers, please continue to share and hit the like button. If you have any question, please drop it in the comments. Any question for Reverend or Father, because this opportunity, you don't get to speak to them. They are always, because that's another thing that the colonial masters did. They made sure that the people that are brainwashing us spiritually, teaching us spiritually, they are kept far away. We don't go close to them. We don't touch them. We don't engage them. We don't ask them questions. They are in their place reading Latin. We are in our place reading English, and we have to worship God and work together. How will they know when we are suffering? We are on top of the hill. So please, if you have a question, type it in the comment section so that we can ask Father today that are here. And we appreciate your time, please. Sister Muna, go ahead. Thank you.
All right, Father. So in the context of the imposed unitary 1999 Constitution, what is internal colonialism and what actions do you propose for the redemptive resolution for the indigenous peoples?
Yes, the current 1999 Unitary Constitution forcibly imposed upon the country. It bears striking similarities to apartheid, a form of internal colonialism that oppressed indigenous nationalities of South Africa. This underscores the urgent need for Nigerians to demand the removal of this constitutional order and actively participate in the creation of a new autonomous constitution that truly represents the people. Regrettably, the indigenous people were not adequately consulted during its formulation. While this constitution claims to vest power in the hands of the people, it was, in reality, crafted by the military, not by the people. It is the people's responsibility to express their desires for governance and way of life. Failing to do so leaves us with a political system even more oppressive than that appetite we are talking about. We must address this issue promptly rather than rushing into elections, which often deceive the impoverished masses, followed by the selection of leaders, the way they already pre-programmed it. The present constitution misrepresents every Nigerian as part of a federal republic, when in truth we live under an imposed unitary government. In a system where people do not have the freedom to determine the fair distribution of resources and rights, and where lives are continually being shared, we know that already, east, west, north, and south. Even elections alone cannot offer any genuine solution. So to address this problem effectively and ensure that the change genuinely reflects the people's will, we should seriously consider adopting the 5-point NINAS agenda, NINAS proposition that was put forward by the Nigerian Indigenous Nationality Alliance for Self-Determination. So this approach entails initially a regional referendum as the first step, then followed by the national level ratification of the results, leading to the creation of a constitution. It's agreed and is agreed upon by everyone. That becomes our own. The way legal experts say it becomes really autonomous. And then people can then rest and then be doing things. So many of our people are dying every day, everywhere. We have no alternative. And that is exactly the only way, or whether you are a church authority or whatever, that is our major responsibility for now. That's it.
Thank you. Samuna wants to pull up the 5-part agenda that you mentioned so that she can just run through it for us so that people will discuss. Because when you say 5-part agenda, some people have not heard about it and what it is. So Samuna wants to just, it's coming up so that she will run through it for us.
That would be very nice.
Yes. Samuna, please go ahead.
Right. So remember, we typically read out this 5-point agenda every day, which is the first one says an acknowledgement of grave constitutional grievances raised in the union dispute, an express commitment to decommission the imposed 1999 unitary constitution. The third one, an express commitment to share further national election under this 1999 constitution. The fourth one, an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangements, including mandate, timeframe, membership, and ancillary matters. And the fifth one, the announcement of a time-bound 2-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums by which constituents, components can recommit to or opt out of the Nigerian Union, and in the second, distilled terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. Again, this is the same 5-point agenda that we typically share on this show. Father, thank you so much. And thank you so much for that answer that you gave. And this is one of the reasons that, maybe that I'm still upset, because we watch when the church, we spend months reaching out to the church leaders, educating them on the NINAS propositions, consulting them one-on-one, had, secret meetings, open meetings, all the meetings. And at the end of the day, the same church was telling our people, if you don't get PVC, you will not get communion. If you don't get PVC, you will not come in. If you don't get PVC, this one will happen. And now our people are in dire situation. And these so-called religious leaders, they don't have any answer for our people. It's heartbreaking. So there has to be some type of consequence for that action that they took. There must be some type of consequence for what they did to the people, because the people trusted them as men of God, that they parade themselves as men of God. And at the end of the day, they were betrayed. So what are we going to do about this?
Please, we might have the need to correct an impression, because if the church teaches something and individual church personnel, take for example a priest or even a bishop, does otherwise, that person was never sent by the church. Because during that election, personally, I also saw a video of a particular priest who was saying it seriously to his congregants, that if you don't have a PVC card, then you dare not receive communion. That is not the teaching of the church. I don't think that any pope or bishop will teach such a thing. That was, but the issue is that perhaps, just as I said earlier, some of them might have been misled. I mean, the priests by themselves, they might have been misled that, this is the best. Up until now, many of our people do still believe that the election will resolve their problems. That is a misnomer. It doesn't follow at all. So until our people really understand the issue, now that these things have happened, and somebody has been imposed upon us as our president, and I'm even hearing that somebody is saying, if you now say that you are not, if you say that is not the president, the question is not about president. We want to give a foundation. The country has no foundation. And once foundations are destroyed, as the book of Psalms said, then what can the people do? And that is why we say that the best thing is for everybody now to go and that is reconstruct the country. We must have a constitutional reconstruction. If we don't have it, then even if we are ruled this way by even my brother for hundreds of years, Nigerians will never enjoy anything. There will be no benefit, because it has been written already. And because it was written to our detriment, then why are we even saying prayer for Nigeria in distress? And this is all lies. It doesn't help anybody. Let us face the truth. So it is not a question of what the individual priest said. Nobody told that person. He did it on his own. That's exactly what he liked to do. And perhaps because of whatever he believed, he has now seen it, and he will begin to enjoy it. So it wasn't from the church. It is only individual persons. So, and I know also that the bishop of the particular priest, I heard that he was called to order. And I think that since then, I never heard another person saying, okay, but I know also that many of my colleagues, that is the priests, they also try to lead their people to go and get PVC, even if they didn't say it so loud, so that every other person will hear it. So the problem is still there. But right now, because if we cannot leave this thing to lie low for a very long time, it is too much. So the way every country in the world, at least I've been as you read, I was in Germany, and not only there, so particularly in Europe, the way people organize themselves to be a country, to be a society at all, is by constitutional order, agreement by the peoples. And our brother Tony used to say that the constitution is a living document. It's something living. If we say that this is not our own, it will die, or that is just a natural death immediately. But as once we continue to pursue, to pull it, or to drag it along, as somebody said, then it continues to live. It is our own responsibility. So this is where we might have to differ with many of our colleagues who do say go and buy PVC, and yet they don't listen. They don't even hear. They couldn't first. Listen first. What is there is what he said. I think it was the book. No, the gospel of one of the in the scripture. Jesus said that we see the signs coming, and we are able to reinterpret it and interpret it very well. But sometimes we pick and choose and deceive ourselves. So that is deceit, pretense. Once we have already seen that this thing doesn't help anybody, so we cannot say that okay, we can be going, we can drag it along. Later on, it will help us. It doesn't help anybody. That is always the problem, and we have to call people out this time once all such things are done, and then especially including every other person as those who connived to drag people into debt. So many people have been killed, and it is high time we stop that. In the north, almost every day. Middle belt, almost every day. And we are still patching and trying to paint works. It is a problem. So we have to help ourselves. Even now, the question still remains. It's not a question of somebody has. People have not solved or resolved the issue. Have we now had a true constitution made by us and for ourselves, for our own good? It has not yet been done. And because of that, we must rise up and face the truth. Otherwise, we are gradually going into extinction as a people. And there will nothing like Nigeria again. So sorry, I've taken your time. Let me stop here.
No, you did not take our time. Remember,
No,
job.
Yes.
Go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, you're doing a very good job. Thank you so much. The thing is that we can no longer stand aside while people make any kind of statement and get away with it, especially the statement that will kill our people. The funny thing about all of this is as we are waiting, I was just counting in my head, if we allow 4 more presidency to go through, that will leave a child that is born today to be 32 years of age. 32 years of wastage. That is 2 years of backwardness. So each time Tinubu comes now, he wants to stay 8 years. A child that is born today will be 8. Then another criminal will come and want to stay 8 years. That second president, the child will be 16. Another one will come, stay 8 years. Look at this is their productive life is being wasted. The child will be 24. Another one will come. By the time we get to the 4th useless presidency, a child that was born today will be 32 years of age doing nothing, just backwardness. And we mothers, we are sitting down watching it. We are giving birth to children that will go nowhere, to children that will see sufferings from today to the day that they will die. The children that their body parts may be sold at the Mediterranean Sea. The children that even when they are so intelligent, they won't use it to make any change. So, Father, you can see that we're in a dire situation, that we really need to be serious about what we're doing. So we thank you for standing up for what is truth. We thank you for calling out those that are doing things in the name of the Lord that they weren't even sent.
Mm-mm.
So earlier this month, our Catholic priest, Father Oluoma, said, if you haven't heard of Ninas, this is the time to take a look. They are at the forefront of constitutional renegotiation. Nigeria needs a new and better constitution. So you can see our fathers, they are doing a good job. They are coming along.
Yes.
They're making public statements. We are hoping that this is part of the preaching every day, because if you are preaching to people that don't have freedom, very soon they will start eating even though you want to preach. So we don't want to go that route. So, Father, what are your final words, especially with regards to the church helping to mobilize Nigerian people towards self-determination and freedom?
The importance of involving every indigenous Nigerian, particularly church leaders, in educating the people about a new homegrown constitution cannot be emphasized enough. We cannot take pride in being a country, even though some people call it a nation. There's nothing, we don't have any nation. without any effort, without genuine constitution created by people themselves, is going nowhere. At present, our situation aligns with the wisdom of the prophet Jeremiah, who said in chapter 3, verse 3, that two people cannot work together unless they are agreed. Any nation founded on such flawed basis is destined for failure and its ultimate demise. Our youths are leaving the country in droves in search of a better life, often putting themselves at risk in foreign lands. Bandits and extremists are causing daily loss of lives across the country, while our soldiers are they do even sacrifice themselves to contain these threats. Lives are being lost every day, illustrating that since the end of Nigerian Civil War, there has never been any real sense of unity and security in Nigeria as a true country. So that is why we have to focus on the real thing. Nothing except when we come together and otherwise people will be going out. So there will be separation within a short while. So the only alternative is for us to calm down and humble ourselves and make a new autochthonous constitution. Reconstruction of our constitution so that it becomes people's made and people's own. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Father. I like when you said that the people have to come and make constitution. And when we are talking about constitution, people want to ask, constitution. Just like he says, constitute. That means we have not met. Because when we say the people, we are not talking about individuals that are walking up and down with their boyfriends and girlfriends saying that they're politicians. We are talking about the owners of the land, the people, when we call the indigenous peoples. I like the way somebody put it, say the micronations. The micronations, that means it has to start from down. Constitution making is starting from down to up. The fact that the system is failing means that the owners of the land did not decide how the system will be run. It's just simple. All the stress you're seeing is because the owners of the land, the people that own the thing, are not the one deciding how the thing will be managed. It just is a no-brainer. It's just simple to know. And that's why our father this morning, Father Ugu, is saying that except the owners of the land decide and say, this is how we want this union. This is how we want it to be constituted. This is how we want the arrangement. And this is how we want it to be managed. Before they bring in the people that are the politicians, who are supposed to be the employers. The employees, sorry. The employers are the people, the owners of the land. They employ the politicians and tell them what to do. That is why it's called democracy. That means the people are deciding. But in the case where it's turned upside down, that is the politicians that are saying what needs to be done. It's like upside down existence, and that will never work because you're putting the cart in front of the horse. There's no movement. You're not going anywhere. So I like that you called out people, broke it down for our people, because when you hear the people don't understand, what it means that, okay, we need to teach the people. And who are in the best position to teach the people? The religious leaders. Because when we say church leaders, it's not just church. We're talking about all the religious leaders. Because there will not be any spiritual health or progress if you are living inside dungeon, a forest of 1,000 demons, like Tony Nadi said. He said Nigeria is a forest of 1,000 demons. There won't be any well-being. You will be wrestling with demons all the days of your life, and that cannot be the will of God.
No.
It's impossible. That is not why we're here. So thank you so much, Reverend. Despite all the technical difficulties, we're able to put something through. We thank our people. We can see your comments. We can't call your name now because we're trying to handle many things at the same time, but we'll see your comments. We'll check through. I check to see if you have questions. And if you want to call us in, Samuna, please, you can, the number, can we display our number in case there's anyone that wants to call in to maybe greet Reverend or make contribution or ask question? The number is +1 979 488 9034. The number again is +1 979 488 9034. Please call in to make your own contribution. Say one or two things so that we know that Father will know that you understood what he taught, what he said. Because and then you comment. I don't know if there's any comment in the background. I checked before and I didn't see, whether there are questions. Samuna, can you see any comments?
No, it was just, good job. Thank you for the Sylvester sisters. You're doing a good job. So we've addressed the other ones.
Okay.
That's what we'll continue to do. The good thing about what we're doing is that we are not in a rush to get to the destination. We're here to make sure we go through the right process to get to the destination. That's the difference. So we are not trying to take any Appian way. We are patient, we are consistent, we are persistent, because we are talking about the future of our children. We keep telling you guys on this show that nobody that is giving birth to any child should not be aware, politically aware of what's going on, because it's the policies that will destroy you. It's the policies that people will make, whether in an international, at the international level or local level, that will destroy you. So you don't get to now be one-sided and say, "Oh, I won't want your politics. I'm a church. I sing God's song every day." You have to be politically informed. You don't have to be the politician, but you have to be politically informed so that they won't take you for the ride. So that someone will not come and tell you, if you don't get PVC, you cannot come to the church. You should keep it moving. There's so many ways you can pray to God. If you can try to be a good person Sunday through Sunday, like really work hard to be honest in your ways, kind, loving, and do it Sunday through Sunday. There is no bigger religion than that. It's not a matter of where you show up to come and sing and do and wear new clothes. No, be good Sunday through Sunday to another human being. And I think I will sign off on it that you make it to heaven. We can start charity from home. Start with your neighbors, your widows that have not eaten. Give them first before you start giving to anybody else. Think about them first before you start thinking about anywhere else. That's heaven right there. There's no greater heaven than that. So, Father Sylvester, thank you so much. We appreciate your presence this morning. And our people, we thank you. We'll continue with our campaign. We are not ending. So if anyone knows what to do to make this information reach the ears of the people that it needs to reach, we need to be on it, like so on it. Because the more informed we are, the better we can make our decisions that will be favorable for us, right? So please, if you know how to do this, God has already helped us to have our people in organizations, in churches. We are already gathered. All we need to do is to send the right information to the ears of those people, and then we are good to go. So that they won't think we are, we are not doing things the old way. We're doing things the right way, because we have a place that we are going to. So thank you so much. Brother Tony says, in the aftermath of the ill-advised and ill-fated 2023 presidential election, many now ask, what is the way forward? The answer to that question is that we must now embrace and enforce the 5-point proposition of the NINA's constitutional force majeure. Nigeria must now go into transitioning arrangement for the inevitable constitutional reconstruction of Nigeria, just like South Africa did in 1990 to ease itself out of the apartheid bind. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If not, we'll continue to be seen as criminals. People that are already working as nurses will go and retake the exams. If you're applying for visa to come here, they will ask you to start getting a swap of your anus. Because somebody already jacked you up. So the right thing must be done. God is already on our side. We just need to do the right thing and move forward.
And like this, are you there? I can see your mouth moving.
Me?
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. So there's something that Daffy wrote, because sometimes it's not blame game, and we are trying to say we have an assignment to do to mobilize the people. Good thing the people are already in different groups. Some are in churches, some are at the mosques. So the way the religious leaders led our people astray, we are telling them is their assignment to come and lead them in the direction that they should go.
Mm-hmm.
Duffy said, I think after every transaction, a wise trader takes stock. The church leaders in Nigeria, if they are truly representative of Master Jesus, it is time to do a personal inventory of the daredevil role they played during the PVC mantra. We can't lie to ourselves. We have to put it out there, like Mr. Mona would say. Let's put it out there. It's time to take personal invention. We know their names. If we start calling their names, it's not one person. It was like madness. All of them some said our people will not go for Holy Communion except they have PVC. So with loud voice, as if, the louder your voice is, that means God sent you. So we are seeing vision. It's as if God sent out, God allowed the spirit of lie to be dispersed in the church. This thing did not have, we have videos to show. So we're not talking about one priest or one random pastor. No, we're talking about all of them. So I'm reading the comment. I continue to read. He said, the church leaders in Nigeria, if they are truly representative of Master Jesus Christ, it is time to do a personal inventory of the daredevil role they played during the PVC mantra. Also, they should let the youths know if the PVC they misled them to get was divinely orchestrated by God, and if not, they must ask the youths for forgiveness for misleading them again, just like they did during the change mantra that brought in the misfortune called Buhari. There's no point defending what does not make. We can't do that anymore. We can't deceive ourselves, defend what is indefensible. No, we saw it happen. The religious leaders led the sheep astray. Like when Jesus was asking Peter, Peter, do you love me? Feed the sheep. Peter, do you love me? Feed the lamb. Take care of them. And that taking care of them means everything. It's not just to keep them in church and be telling them, giving them pacifier. That's not it. We must begin to take responsibility. If we miss it, we take stock. That's what adults do. That we are calling on religious leaders. All of you, we are not exempting Catholic from Anglican, from Pentecostal, all of you. The way you go to Buhari and the Aso Rock, give you people money, the bishops, the archbishop, all of you, we are calling on you. If you know how you preached PVC to our people, come here now. There's work to be done. If you know how you led the sheep astray to the slaughter, it is your responsibility. Don't come and tell us, no, I'm doing spiritual, I'm not doing politician. I'm doing politician. No, we're not taking all those. If you knew how you did it, come now. Organize yourself. If it's by teaching in the churches, if you know whatever you want to do, if you know how you were calling PVC, because we have already approached some people and they say, oh, how can we be discussing this in church? How did you discuss PVC in church? If you know how you preached PVC to our people that led them to where they will be slaughtered, go and start spreading Nina's 5-point agenda in your church. Begin to read it. If you want to read it in Igbo, read it. Yoruba, Hausa, whatever language you want to use, go and begin to read it to our people so that our people will understand the meaning of self-determination. Our people will understand how deadly 1999 Constitution is to them. that they will never see that change they're looking for. So far, that imposed fraudulent 1999 constitution is still in place. Begin to teach our people. If you're not ready to do this, close down your churches. Because I won't tell you what will happen to those churches. I won't say it. Because it's time to take stock. We are not going to ignore that we didn't see the role you played. That will be impossible. And even if we, the mothers, ignore, our children will not ignore. They are coming, oh. Our children are coming for you because you led them to the slaughter. It's time for you to undo what you did. You must take responsibility. Like Sister Muna said, somebody must take responsibility for the wrongdoing, for the thing that just happened, because we are not waiting another 8 years. That's not happening. That's not going to happen. We are not going to wait for this because already our children are suffering everywhere. So we are not waiting. The right thing must be done. So thank you, Father. We must let you go now, and we appreciate you. Are you there, Father Sylvester?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, we'll let you go now. Thank you so much. Okay, bye.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So we're able to finish. Please continue to help us to share and disseminate this information. We just need our people to be informed. We know if they get this that they will move. We just need them to be informed. So if you are one of those holding our people hostage, whether by omission or commission, please release them and give them the information that they need. The suffering is too bad. 2 years ago, we warned you guys that they are going to eventually turn dollar into 1,000 plus. Some people are saying, hey, 1,000 plus. We warned you. I don't know where we read that thing. They said in the next few years that Naira will be 1,000 plus. And we thought, mind you, last year, Naira was around 300? Early last year, 400, right? And then about that to almost 700 towards the end. And now we are over. As of this week, somebody told me 1280 to $1. Can you imagine? So
failed states, failed currency, failed judiciary, failed everything. And everything is failing.
Everything. And it doesn't have to be. There is a way out. There is a way. I stop blackmailing God and calling God as if he has no ears, as if he's in the toilet, as if he's constipated. There is a way out. Leave God out of this and go and join Nina's proposition so we can get to our destination. God is not coming down. Remember, he was there when they came and collected all the slaves for over 500 years. He didn't strike even one thunder to capsize the boat. He didn't even give them bad malaria to take them out. Instead, they were able to do it continuously for that long. Nothing happened. He's not coming, and rapture is not coming either. Nothing is going to come. So this suffering has no end. Don't think that, oh, with hope, I will keep going. The only hope out of this is to hope into Nina's, so that we can take back our sovereignty and stop the criminals from taking over our resources and using it to destroy us. Why is that too difficult to understand? All right, brothers and sisters, we just want more for you guys. We want you guys to live with dignity. We want you guys to be able to pay school fees for your children and see the result, the benefit of the school fees. We want you to see the benefit of your hard work. You're getting up early in the morning, even when you don't feel like it, you're pushing. We want you guys at the end of, when you're in your 60s, you can balance now and say, oh, my work is done and my children can move on and take care of me. That's all. It's exhausting. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.